Mid-March in Florida to most means spring break, but in the sports car world it means only one thing: the famed 12 hours, the Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring. This historic and famed event, it doubles as round 2, the 2019 IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship. And the sports car faithful have turned out in their thousands. The weather is not disheartening them, but this day is going to be tough.
My concern is when we do see a green flag down that front straightaway, Lee, there's a lot of standing water, particularly to the right side. And what it does, AJ, it drags the car. If you suddenly hit it with the right side, it can pull you sideways. And then if you're in the middle of the pack, who knows if everyone can miss you. So we've got to be super careful here. All the drivers have to be up on their toes. They've got to be super patient. You could certainly lose this race in a heartbeat here at the start of this one.
Yeah, and talking about the front straightaway, if you really look at it, the walls are tight there, so the water has nowhere to run away from. So it just kind of gets packed in there, and the only way you're really going to dry it out is have cars going across it. We see it right here. It is just water everywhere, and we're going to be starting the race under yellow right now.
To the green flag, safety car is off. They jump on the throttle. Castro Neves is a little wide and squirrely. That Penske's out of shape. It is the Acura and the Mazda of Tristan Nunez, and Nunez goes around the outside.
He wants the lead, he wants that clean air, and he's feeling it. That Mazda team tested here. Looks like got a lot of confidence right now, AJ.
Tristan Nunez taking it to him. As you said, clean air here, clean view is key, and it's all about confidence. If the driver has confidence in the rain, he's gonna make moves happen.
But we also said, park your ego. Don't get too feisty. If your race car does not feel good underneath you, don't risk throwing it at the fence early in this race.
All the drivers are trying to just find some sort of grip out there, so you're not really sure where the driver in front of you is ever going to place the car, and you don't want to get caught up in somebody else's mistakes. So when you get to a slower car, yeah, maybe you're going to lose a little bit of time, but you just have to be patient enough to slowly make the move, get around them, and then move on to the next group of cars.
The track's starting to show signs of drying out in places. However, this is not what Tristan Nunez wanted to experience down into turn 7.
It's a little nudge there from JC Perez aboard the number 71 AMG Mercedes. Just tipped him as he was turning in. You just got to be so careful. You got to be patient. Don't burn down the clutch trying to get it pointed back in the right direction.
It's the 47 that is spun and maybe stuck. Let's see, this car endured a massive crash earlier in the weekend.
It did. Don Yan behind the wheel now. He had a moment coming out of turn 5, put it into the fence. Massive rebuild on the car. They got it done and then qualified extremely well.
It was like 4th, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Is this high-centered?
It looks it could be.
This is at the water tower corner, so it's a kind of a cambered corner. So the further you get out and you get up, the part of the pavement gets higher. So looks like he's got it rolling there. It's one of those things too. They have spotters, but it's a blind corners that you kind of come in. So you're just trying to be careful about when to kind of throw it back on the racetrack and get going again. You can see these Acuras right now between the 6 and the 7. They are struggling for any type of grip. Goes in hot. And just the back at the end swaps around even before Ricky can figure out what's going to happen.
Just the rear end just seems to be too harsh on these bumps. And underneath this Acura car, Lee, is the Orica LMP2 chassis. That really forms the backbone. Well, we saw the LMP2 machine some 5 seconds quicker than Castro Neves. So it's not just the chassis. It seems to be the setup that the Acura Team Penske team likes in the dry conditions, but it's just totally not working in these conditions.
The Starworks number 8 is off and able to get going again. That wasn't what you'd call an easy off.
Parker Chase behind the wheel, coming off a championship season last year in another series with his teammate Ryan Dial. Just like a light bump. I don't even see the rear wing askew, AJ, so maybe he got away with that.
This is shades of Daytona all over again.
Just massive disappointment for this team that has really regrouped big time over the off-season, came out of the box so strong at Daytona with a new track record there, pole position, led laps, but this site has become too familiar for this group and this team.
Yeah, that's been the problem. Mazda Team Yost is, the speed is there, but the question's always been the reliability, and we see it here again. Obviously a small fire being put out, and just a huge disappointment for this team. You can see the smoke inside the car there, yeah. So whether maybe it's an electrical issue or something going on.
Oh, problem for one of the Lexus GTD entries.
Yes, it's the 14.
That's really the first time we've seen a car off big time so far in this race. It's torn the front fender off and the splitter, major damage there.
He's right behind his team car, and his team car has damage to the right rear.
Back fender is damaged as well.
In endurance racing, the goal is to stay clean so you can make it to the end. That's the first goal. The second goal that is incorporated into the first one is don't hit your teammate. Certainly, if you're going to make contact with anybody, it's not going to be your teammate.
We did see a little bit of a tail at the back end of the Miller Motorsports car. And interestingly enough, coming off of 17 here right before he went to pit road. Take a look at that.
Yeah, we don't know what that was. Dragging something. We think it's part of a tire that might have come apart, just shredded apart.
I think what happened is as he came in, you could see smoke off the right rear. I think there's some bodywork rub on the back, and basically like a lathe, it just took that Michelin tire and began to cut off the rubber on or across the contact patch of the tire and just had it stuck to the back of the car. It just basically lathed it off.
Jonathan Bonrito in the 55 Mazda went off the track with these very tricky conditions between wet and dry. They were having a problem with the door actually on that car, and I saw the team, we just had a full course caution come out, and I saw the team actually getting a door just as that was happening and discussing how they could put it on. This is getting crazy, guys.
Yeah, very rare mistake for Bonrito. He's normally a really steady driver, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he's on slick tires and he's on the wettest part of the track, and he just got on the curb. He was already locked up. The front tires are completely locked, and right into the tires and gets into that concrete. Let's listen. It wasn't like he was braking late. He was off the power way early. It's wet conditions on slick tires, and it just gets to a certain point where it just crosses over and you don't have grip anymore.
We just talked about the tightrope and that it was getting narrower and narrower and narrower, and if you stepped over the line, it would bite you instantly.
The lead with his teammate has been flip-flopping back and forth, but I can guarantee you when we get down to the last hour, they're going to be right together on track.
Pippo Durrani leads by 41 seconds over Brendan Hartley, the teammate, and then Renger van der Zande. There's 3 cars on the lead lap with 2 hours 20 to go in GTLM. Richard Westbrook in the Ford GT. Can this be the day that Ganassi's Ford GT wins at Sebring? Something the car has never been able to accomplish, as the leader gets by the 3rd place GTD car of Catherine Legg. Wow, this has not been seen in a long time.
There's some happy people and there's some really disappointed people right now.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, it's the Starworks Audi. Parker Chase, first Sebring 12-hour. And it has come to a stop, obviously in a precarious position. Enough for race control to throw just the 4th yellow in this race.
Parker Chase here just has a mechanical failure and just pulls off the racetrack.
Felipe Nasr has put his foot down, AJ. He has taken off from Jordan Taylor to the tune of 6.5 seconds.
Yeah, we saw that outlap with Jordan Taylor trying to get around him, and Felipe Nasr has put the pedal down. He is flying right now. He's gotten the lead up to almost 8 seconds, running laps near a second faster than Jordan Taylor and Philippe Albuquerque.
Felipe Nasr is frustrated, trying to get by. Flick one way and then the other.
Yeah, I think Colin got out of the power, nearly caught Nasr unawares there. I think Colin was trying to make way, and Nasr had gone to the other side to commit. Quick juke around the outside. That was a close one.
With 33 minutes to go, Wayne Taylor told our Dave Burns anything could happen. And now here is his youngest son all over the back of Felipe Nasr. Who have we got here in trouble? It's the Turner Motorsport 96.
Oh boy. What I talked about, you don't want to have a yellow and not have that opportunity. Everyone, if you're close to that leader, it is go time. 96 has had a suspension issue today. Now I think that left front is completely given way on Bill Oberlin there.
Yeah, that left front suspension broke coming off turn 1 there.
He had a shock issue earlier in the day, and I think maybe the whole suspension has collapsed potentially.
Bertolotti chops Tanny right there. He doesn't want to give up the spot and let Andy Lally.
Look at Briscoe.
Here we go.
He's inside.
He's gone. He's gone. Brian Briscoe has spun the Ford GT. It's 1 corner to go for Felipe Nasr, his countrymen Pippo Durrani and Eric Curran. This American sports car team, Action Express, Wheeling Engineering, checkered flag waiting. It's a Sebring victory to Felipe Nasr. What a run! 1.4 seconds over Jordan Taylor. And the Wheel and Engineering Cadillac team celebrate. Porsche will go back-to-back in GTLM. Can you believe it? The GRT Grasser team will do it in GTD.